Hey guys, it's Mr. Bison here, and I want to tell you how I think the rules of the game have changed. Now, by game, I'm talking about A-level maths and A-level further maths. And by the rules, I'm talking about these last couple of years, the grade boundary has shot up and the exam papers have become, I don't know, maybe a little bit less demanding, and we're required to get many more marks in order to get the grades that we want. Now, the second part of this video that I want to talk to you about is going to be my experience of the exams in 2024 when I sat them all alongside all of the other students in the country, and what I did in some of those exams that hopefully you might be able to learn from. But before we get on with this main part of the video, there is someone who quickly wanted to mention something to you. It's only me. I just wanted to tell you about the Bison Maths Award, which is an opportunity for 5 students in Year 12 or Year 13 to win an award of £150 and a graphics calculator. If you want to find out more about this, there is a video linked in the description. It's a fantastic opportunity, and the deadline to apply is the end of January. Okay, guys, back to the video. Okay, so what do I mean about the rules have changed? Well, if we look at the era of exams from 2019 to 2022, grade boundaries for an A were at sort of the low 50s, 51, 53 kind of zone. And then suddenly in 2023, the grade boundary shot up to high 60s, like 67%. This is pretty true of all of the grade boundaries. They've all shot up by about 10 to 12%, which is a significant amount across a 300 mark A-level. I'm mostly talking about A-level maths here, but there are similar trends in further maths as well. And the reason I think this is so important, because as schools, as educators, even as just individual candidates, we have been preparing to do as best as we can in the exams using past paper questions. And those past paper questions have been feeding us this strategy of, oh, you know what, if you couldn't do that part, it's actually not a big deal, because as long as you can do some of the other marks, as long as you can hit that 50-something%, you'll get that grade A that you need for whatever kind of university place that you're looking for. And then what's happening now is that people are being punished in these 2023 and 2024 exam seasons for things like silly mistakes that, yeah, of course they had an impact in the past. They're having an even bigger impact as we are now focusing a lot more on accuracy being one of the key things that can drive you to getting that next grade. And then it's making me reflect on other things that I think will be important for you as you decide what your mentality should be when you go into these exams. Things like pacing. In the old style of exam, I would normally ask people to kind of take their time with questions because they were very challenging, a lot of problem solving. Now I'm probably shifting to encouraging students to powering through some of the easier parts of that paper so that they have more time to focus on parts towards the end, and crucially, more time to loop back around and try and detect some of those silly mistakes that could be that difference of that extra 5-10% that you need to get you to the next grade. And so I need to do a bit more thinking on this, but I am going to be sort of exploring this a bit more and hopefully sharing some of these things in some masterclasses that I'm running. You probably didn't know this, but last year I ran a series of masterclasses in the February half term. I did one on exponentials and logarithms, differentiation, trigonometry, and integration. They all take place on Zoom. I'm making them a bit cheaper this year to try and have them as more affordable. But something that's different this year is I'm also going to be running an exam workshop where we can delve a little bit more into some of these strategies that I'm alluding to here. They don't work so well as me doing this as a video on YouTube because I want there to be some interaction, I want there to be some activities, and that one is going to be priced very affordably. So if you're interested in any of those masterclasses, when this video is published, all of those events will be live, so you can find that linked in the description. So yeah, do take some time and maybe even talk about this to sort of your fellow students, to your teachers, and say, you know, the exams are quite different in these last couple of years. There are many more parts to questions to try and make it easier to kind of get into a question, and the grade boundaries are higher. So how is that going to change the way that I approach the exam? So let me tell you a little bit about my experience in the 2024 exams, and maybe there'll be a few things you can learn from this. Even if it's just 1 or 2 things, that's better than nothing. So I found I had this absolute obsession with getting certain parts of questions answered. There would be a point where it would be something I'd want to spend like 15 minutes, 20 minutes on like a 1 or 2 marker. And it was such an obsession of trying to get those marks. Now, I think I had additionally felt that feeling because I knew I would be sharing my marks with everyone on YouTube, and I didn't want to be embarrassed. So I was trying to make sure I could do everything. But it also reminded me of when I was a student, kind of getting fixated on doing that. And I don't necessarily think that is a good thing. There were some times where I did just say, you know what, I can't do this 1 or 2 marker. I'm thinking of the Decision 1 further maths paper. And there were a couple of those questions I said, you know what, I'm not doing these. Instead, what I'm going to do is focus on this 5 marker that I know I can do. It's going to take some time. I did spend a lot more time on that question. It was an activity network. And if you've seen my 2024 review, I do not like activity networks. But I did do it and I got those marks and I was happy to sacrifice those. So start thinking about, where are you putting your time? Where's going to be the best way of you maximizing those marks that you can get? Another thing that I did quite a lot of that I would really recommend was reading questions that were like, oh, this looks a bit unusual, this looks a bit challenging, and skipping it and just saying, I'm going to come back to that later. I felt like what that did, it's almost like my brain started processing what the question was looking for. And then when I came back to the question at the end of the exam paper, I had like a refreshed mindset for it. I don't know if you've ever tried that before. If you have done, hopefully it's something that's worked for you as well. And if you haven't tried it, give it a go. Now, obviously, that depends on the fact that you have a lot of time at the end to be able to go through questions. But I was lucky enough to have a lot of time to go through, so I was able to return to it. So just be aware, if you do skip something with the intention of coming back, you do need to manage your time for that too. And then the last thing I noticed me doing an awful lot of was how I checked my work. And I think this is something that could work us towards having fewer silly mistakes when we do our exams. If I had spare time at the end of the exam, which for most of them I did, because obviously I'm a very well-practiced maths teacher, I should have had spare time, I would go back and repeat some of the questions in pencil, and I'd just cross through my answer afterwards, just to confirm I got the same answer in both of them. A couple of times I didn't, and I was able to then sort of play a bit of spot the difference and work out, hey, which ones did I do right, which one did I do wrong here? And I found that was a very effective way of doing that. And as well as just repeating questions, even if I couldn't repeat all of them, I definitely repeated ones where there was a lot of calculation stuff going on. And I literally mean using your calculator a lot. I'm thinking of further stats 2. I'm thinking of iteration questions, anything where there was a long number in a question I had to copy down. The amount of times I found that I couldn't even type a number into a calculator correctly was crazy. And if you add all of those silly mistakes together, it really can be the difference between one grade and the next there. So I want to do a bit more reflecting about this. I'm going to put quite a lot of time into preparing for this exam technique workshop. It might not be suitable for everybody. You might be very confident with your exam technique. But if you are able just to gain 1 or 2 tips from that makes a difference for you, then hopefully it could be something that is worth checking out. So that's all linked in the description. And also the Bison Maths Award, as was previously mentioned by Mr. Bison, that's also linked in the description too. So yeah, think about this. Think about how 2025 exams and beyond, how you might do better in them given this sort of shift in exams. And I should also add this disclaimer. This is just what I think the trend is happening. Of course, 2025 could shift and go back to much, much lower grade boundaries. I don't think it's likely to happen, but obviously I can't predict that with any certainty that it is definitely going to be the same grade boundaries as these. So, do take what I'm saying with your own judgment and make a decision about whether you think what I'm saying is worth listening to. Anyway, guys, that's enough from me. Happy New Year. Hope that you are feeling absolutely primed and ready for a lot of studying over these next few months. It's going to be a tough few months, but you'll be very, very proud of yourself by the end of it. Hope to see you in another video or a masterclass soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.